So hello there and welcome back to the channel. This is Mel's Gaming here with another The Hunter Call of the Wild video. Now in this video we're going to be taking a look at some trophies I've gotten recently for the hog deer, Rouser deer and Sambar deer here on Emerald Coast. And we're starting off with this really big level 4 hog deer. Now I knew that level 4 diamond hog deer were a thing, and when I saw this guy whilst I was actually hunting for Rouser deer in their drink times, and this guy just came trotting by and I saw that estimate, I had a good feeling that this guy could be a level 4 diamond. And looking at him on the ground, he looked just as big as I thought he was, and sure enough he does actually make diamond at 109.25, so actually a decent sized diamond, actually bigger than a couple of the level 5s I've had. So that's a really nice thing to encounter, my first ever diamond level 4 hog deer. And like I said, when I saw him come trotting by, I thought he looked pretty big, and when I spotted him and he was a level 4, I was very surprised. But nothing surprised me quite as much as this being a level 4. That is the biggest hog deer I have ever laid eyes on, with an estimate of 111 to 128, which guaranteed he was going to be my biggest diamond hog deer ever. I could not believe when I spotted this guy that he was a level 4, and I checked this session, everything was completely legit, so I think this is just a really wild example of a level 4 being just huge, and I have seen stuff like this in the past. I had a Rocky Mountain elk level 4 that actually scored just over 400, which is huge for a level 4, so I have seen this sort of thing before, but never with hog deer. And he's actually a 112.25 scoring diamond level 4. This is just completely wild to me, to see a level 4 get this big. This is what I would call the big rack for hog deer. I've never seen a bigger set of antlers on a hog deer. It's just huge. Those beams are so much longer and almost more straight than comparing it to the level 4 that we just shot in the previous clip. It's just a huge buck. I can't believe this thing is a level 4. And like I said, I checked through the session, everything was legit, this was the only diamond I found. So just a really weird big level 4, so I'd be really interested to hear if any of you have gotten a level 4 diamond hog deer quite that big. But moving on to some clips of some trophy Rouser deer now, and we're starting off with a level 4 piebald. Now this is actually my favourite piebald pattern for the male Rouser deer. I just think this pattern looks really pretty, and as he turns there and gives us a nice broadside shot, we managed to drop him with the Moradi model 1894, which is the gun that we're going to be using throughout this entire video, just because it is such a fantastic gun and it does such great work on these different deer species. But just look at this beautiful piebald pattern. Now I have had one of these in the past, but it's still just so gorgeous and such a cool thing to see when you actually spot them. You know, even out here at night and looking through the night vision, they stand out and they're just so incredibly pretty. What a beautiful piebald. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm super pleased to actually get another one, because I'm sure I can find space in another lodge for another one of these guys, because they are just stunning. I really like the white face and the front of the neck being white, and then you've got sort of the brown patches on the shoulders and on the back, which it just is such a nice pattern. He's only a relatively small scoring level 4, being only a silver, but still has some decent size antlers on him. They're not the smallest I've seen, and they are a little bit uneven, but not in such a way where they just don't match or anything. So just a really great looking rare that I was really excited to actually see another one of. Very pretty animal. Now moving on to the next clip, and we have another piebald Rusa. But this time, it's a piebald female. Now this is actually one of the trophies I was really looking to find here on Emerald Coast. I had seen a couple of photographs online of these piebald female Rusa, and I just absolutely fell in love with their patterning. I think they are one of the prettiest rares here on Emerald Coast. I just love this piebald pattern. It's kind of similar to the female hog deer. I actually think the female hog deer have the best piebald pattern for the hog deer. I prefer the female pattern way over the male's piebald patterns, and it's pretty much the same with the Rusa. As much as I like that pattern that we just had on the male in the previous clip, this is by far my favourite piebald for the Rusa. I have been fortunate enough to harvest both the piebald patterns for the male Rusa, and now obviously this piebald female, and yeah, it's definitely my favourite out of all of them. I just love how this patterning looks. The white going down the back and then the white on the legs, mixed with the white going up the neck and then onto the head and face, and then you've got the brown patterning on the sides. It just looks so clean. I absolutely love it. I really wish this was a pattern the males could have, because this is just absolutely stunning to me. And I really want to display this female somewhere in a lodge on a full body platform, just because I absolutely love it. Like I said, very much reminiscent for me of the piebald female hog deer, which I much prefer over the piebald males. Now, sticking with rare Rusa, and we have another rare male, this time a leucistic. Now, this is my first ever leucistic Rusa, so I was incredibly excited to spot this guy, but he gave me such trouble. The first shot that I took at this guy unfortunately hit some brush and spooked him, and then the track that I ended up having to go on chasing this guy around for quite a while was pretty wild. Absolutely worth it though to finally get a nice clear shot at this guy and actually drop him. Now, this is one of the more unusual looking rares, at least for me. They're kind of almost a bluish grey colour with, again, sort of bluish grey eyes. Very pretty eyes. I was really surprised. I'd never actually seen the eyes up close on the leucistics, so I was actually kind of surprised when I actually got to see this guy up close and I saw that he does have these beautiful bluish grey eyes. Such a, like I said, an unusual looking rare. It's not like other leucistics, like I said, with that sort of bluish grey coat and then the sort of cream white legs. Very, very unusual looking, and I'm really pleased that I actually got to harvest this guy. He's not a huge rare, but I'm just more focused about the rare coat, and he is very pretty. I'm really, really pleased I actually managed to get this guy. After that first shot hit brush, like I said, it was such a long, long track with him going up through different terrain in such thick brush, but finally got that shot at him, and it was so worth it. I don't mind going on a long chase for an animal like this. He is absolutely awesome, and I am so, so pleased I got to harvest such a fantastic animal. Now, moving on to the Sambar portion of this video, and we're starting off with an albino female. Now, this is my second ever albino Sambar. Both of them have been females. One was not long after release, and then this one obviously just in the past couple of days. And I really, really would love to find an albino male, because I think the albinos for these guys are really pretty. The eyes and the face detail for these I think looks especially good. And like I said, I would love to get a decent sized male to put into the trophy lodge. But the females obviously are equally as beautiful, having the same beautiful albino coat. Just a very stunning animal. And obviously, even at night, it sticks out like a sore thumb through the night vision. Just a bright, glowing deer. Such a cool thing to see. That's something I really do actually kind of enjoy about night vision hunting, is when you see something like an albino, they do really stick out. They sort of shine. And that was the first thing that I saw, was this absolutely gorgeous, shining, bright deer amongst the rest of the herd. And yeah, she is just absolutely gorgeous. A really, really beautiful female. And I've been taxing the rare females in hope that one day maybe there'll be like a multi-mount for these guys, and then I'll have some rare females to put into that. And I'm crossing my fingers, because the rares for these guys are just so stunning, and more opportunities to display them in the lodge would be really, really fantastic. Sticking with the theme of rare female Sambar, and this time we have a piebald. Now, kind of similar to what happened with the leucistic Rusa, I took a shot at this female, and instead of the shot hitting brush, it actually clipped a different Sambar that kind of walked in front of the shot, and of course this beautiful piebald female ended up getting spooked from that. So I ended up having to track her again through some quite thick brush. Not quite as long a track as for the leucistic Rusa, but still equally worthwhile. This is again a really beautiful piebald pattern on a female, and there is another piebald pattern for the male Sambar that looks more similar to this. And it's sort of that lighter brown coat colour, like you can see with this female, mixed with the white piebald pattern. So I hope that eventually I can get the male that has a similar pattern to this, but this is just a stunning looking animal, so incredibly pretty. The piebalds for the Sambar are really, really fantastic. And we're going to be sticking with the theme of piebald Sambar for this next clip, where we actually have a little level 3 piebald stag feeding out here in the night. Now, this is the same pattern as my last male piebald Sambar, but it's still just such a cool thing to see, and I just get really, really excited seeing a rare for these guys pop up. And like I said, the piebalds are just so stunning. How can you not get excited about seeing one of these? Even though it is the same pattern as my last one, and I really would love to get the other pattern for the males, this is just such a beautiful pattern, and is a nice looking smaller rare. You know, his antlers aren't huge, but they're still really nice looking. He's just so pretty. Like, I can never get over how well they did with the rares for these guys. They're just absolutely gorgeous. How can you not love this pattern? And like I said, it is sort of the darker brown fur mixed with the white for this pattern. And it's cool to see that the different patterns actually have the sort of different base colour with the piebald sort of added on top of that, because the other one, like I said, is very much more similar to the female piebald that we just looked at, with sort of the lighter brown fur. So kind of a nice contrast between the different furs for the different piebald males. It would be really cool at some point to have the two different piebald male patterns displayed side by side in the lodge. That would be really cool. Maybe have the female in there as well if I could get that set up. I think that would look really awesome. But for now, just I'm really, really happy I got to shoot another male piebald. But now moving on to the next clip, and we have a level 5 Sambar, which once again we have just dropped with the 44. Now this guy was actually on my own map. I basically realised that there was a couple of hotspots that I have learned as I've been going through multiplayer that I hadn't checked on my own map. So while multiplayer was being a little bit difficult the other night with sessions not being great, I decided to go into single player and ended up finding this guy, a pretty decent size 171.6 brown fur type diamond Sambar. They just look so fantastic. I think a super rare Sambar would be one of the coolest trophies you could get off this map. They just look so majestic. Really, really gorgeous animals. And for this next clip, we have another majestic level 5 Sambar stag. And I actually ended up spooking this guy away from his drink zone. He was just over a bit of terrain where I couldn't see. He spooked off, I got a spot on him, and thankfully he didn't go very far before I was able to get a shot on him. And he actually died in a really cool position with his head up here on this rock. And it gave a very nice look at those beautiful antlers. And this guy is another diamond at 169.38. Now he is the dusky gradient fur type, which, if I'm not mistaken, I don't think I had a diamond with this fur type. I had diamonds for all the other common furs for these guys, but I'm pretty sure I didn't have a dusky gradient, which I really love this fur type. It's so pretty with the darker head, neck and shoulders, and then the lighter brown rear end. It's such a nice colour, and the way the gradient, which obviously that's why it's called dusky gradient, goes from those different brown colours is just really pretty. So very happy to get a diamond dusky gradient Sambar. Now once again, here on my own map, I was checking this particular hotspot for Sambar, which I hadn't checked on my own map. This is a hotspot I learned through multiplayer hopping, and I found out it was a really good spot for Sambar. And I've had several trophies here, diamonds, rares, and I've had diamond and rare hog deer here. It's a really good hotspot for both Sambar and hog deer in their drink time. And I came here on my own map and found a trophy that I have been looking for ever since I found out they existed. That right there is a good size level 4 leucistic Sambar stag. Now there are actually two leucistic variations for the male Sambar. There is this pattern, which is sort of a more sort of a more greyish white, off-white colour, and then there is a sort of more golden colour, and I really wanted to get both of them for the trophy lodge, and I just couldn't believe that this guy was hanging out on my own map. Like I said, multiplayer just wasn't great at the time, so I decided I would go back on my own map and just double check any spots that maybe I hadn't checked since I'd learned that they were good. And I found that diamond, and then I came here and found this guy. And he is just incredible. Just the fact that he was hanging out on my own map. I'm so glad that multiplayer just wasn't being great at the time, and I came to single player and started checking through some spots that I just hadn't checked on my own map. It's something I tend to do, is I get so focused on multiplayer, and I learn all these good spots and I check them over and over in all these multiplayer sessions, but I might have missed them on my own map. It's something I've done a couple of times, and this just happened to be there. It's one of the trophies I wanted the most, and he was just sat here in my single player. He is absolutely incredible. Not a huge gold. He is a 128.70, but he is a gold. He is a good size, rare. He is just fantastic. I mean, what an incredibly beautiful animal. I mean, is he not just stunning? That light, sort of, like I said, sort of off-whitish, greyish kind of coat. It's just beautiful, mixed with those blue eyes. He's just an incredible looking rare. Absolutely stunning. I mean, I am so thrilled to have shot this. This is one of my favourite trophies I've had off of Emerald Coast. You know, like I said, the rare Sambar, they did such a fantastic job with them. All of the rares for them look amazing. But the two leucistic variations, like I said, I really, really wanted to get them both. And now I've managed to tick one of them off the list with this really good size, incredibly beautiful male. He is just stunning. There is a leucistic variation for the female Sambar that is basically this same coat. And it's interesting because the females, as far as I know, can only have this variation of the leucistic, whereas the males, like I said, can have this sort of very pale looking, or just incredibly gorgeous coat. And then they can have an equally stunning, but very much more golden coloured leucistic coat as well. And it's interesting to me that the females only have the one variation, but the males have the two. And like I said, I would really love to get the other variation as well and put them side by side. And they're just both equally stunning, and I love them both, and I'm so glad that I've actually managed to get one of them. And I'm desperately going to keep looking, and hopefully one day we'll be able to find the golden coloured leucistic coat as well. But this is just absolutely gorgeous. What a fantastic trophy. I just can't get over that he was on my own map. I go through all these multiplayer sessions hoping that I would find one, and he was just chilling on my own map waiting for me to come and find him. Absolutely wild. But that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. Some trophies in here that I just cannot wait to share. I mean, I've just been so incredibly lucky with these 3 different deer species here on Emerald Coast. I've had some really fantastic luck getting some of these trophies, and I'm just beyond thrilled. And, you know, getting my biggest diamond hog deer ever and it being a level 4. Like I said, please let me know down in the comments if you have seen any like that, because I'm really intrigued. I do believe it's just a really rare thing that I've come across, because like I said, even in my own single player back over on Silver Ridge Peaks, I had that huge level 4 diamond Rocky Mountain elk. So I know stuff like this can happen, and I assume that's just what happened there, but just, that was wild. And to get my first ever diamond level 4 hog deer, and then find that giant one literally, I think, the next day or a day after, was just insane. The couple of insanely beautiful Rusa trophies, and then these amazing Sambar. Just, I've been so incredibly fortunate, and I'm so grateful that I managed to harvest all of these incredible animals. But like I said, that is going to be it for this one, so thank you so much for watching and for all your support as always, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you.